prophecy of Israel's suffering as captives came into fulfillment through the Babylonian exile. At the time when Isaiah was prophesying about the making of the way in the deserts and streams in the wasteland, Israelites had despaired. They were in a state of hopelessness. They were wondering whether there was a way out of the situation. Their faith was at a breaking point. Being captives in foreign land was becoming too much, and the captivity was lasting decades, not years as they might have thought. But at that time, when they were at their ends, when they were feeling exhausted, spiritually and emotionally, God came with a message of hope. Through Isaiah, he first reminds them of who he is and what he had done before for them. He reminds them that he is their creator. He reminds them of what he did in the past and gives them a reason to believe that he will do even more. Our lives may not be very different from that of the Israelites at this particular point. We may be feeling overwhelmed, helpless, tired, hopeless, lonely, with a lot of problems. The feeling might be even worse than that. Maybe you are feeling low. Maybe you have run out of options. You have no choice. You have no idea what direction life is taking. A big mountain might appear in front of you, a large sea, mighty waters. Behind you might be armies of enemies, all rising up against you. You see no way out. But be sure, God will make a way for you. Even in that hopeless situation, he will make a way. In that sickness, he will make a way. In that financial crisis, he will make a way. In that neglect and loneliness, God will make a way. If he made a way through the sea, he can do it in your situation. See how he reminds the Israelites of who he is, the creator and king. God is the one who created you. He knows you better than you know yourself. He knows your tomorrow, your next week, your 10 years down the line. He even knows the smallest details about your life. He knows the situation you are in right now. He knows the despair you are feeling. He knows the weight on your shoulders. He knows the heaviness in your heart. And he is just about to make a way through all of that. Nothing is too hard for him. There is nothing that is too complex for him to do. No promise of his is too big for him to keep. No word from him is too sweet to be true. If he has promised a way through the sea and the mighty waters, then he will make a way. Sometimes we tend to think that maybe it would have been better if it was something like a way around the sea or over the sea, right? Like it wouldn't have to be through it. It would even be cool for God to make a way over the sea. Sounds something like a bridge or a bypass. I mean, how fantastic would that be if instead of going through the problem, we find an alternative around it or a way above it? But the Bible is very clear about it. God will make a way through, not around, not over, not something else, but through. This makes it clear to us that problems will be there. Challenges will be there. The downs of life will be there. All those negative things, illnesses, rejection by people we love, failure of businesses, being fired at work. We may encounter all that. We won't go around them or over them. No, we'll go through them. But the good news is that we won't walk through them as just anybody. We won't be beating around, wandering our way out, but a way will be already there, just for us. God will make a way through them, through the problems and difficulties. We won't be as people with no direction, because he will be our guide. We won't be lost because we will be following the path he has made for us. We won't get tired because every day he will fill us with strength and love to get us through it. It won't be in vain because at the end, we'll get to the beautiful destination He wants to take us. That is the beauty about the way made by God. Even in the hardest situations, His way will always be the best. It will be smooth. It will have nothing that can hurt us. His way has no potholes. It has no valleys and no mountains. Any door on the way God has made for us will already be open. I want you to get this right. Your situation might be a mountain or a valley by itself. It might be dark. Your path might be filled with stumps that make you fall, but the way of God is different. That is what He tells us in Isaiah 45:2. I will go before you and will level up the mountains. I will break down gates of bronze and cut through bars of iron. There might be mountains along the way, but God will level them up prior to your passing. There might be gates that might deny you access, but He will break them down. That means for you, it will be a smooth walk because God will take care of everything beforehand. Right now, you might be telling yourself that you are too tired. You have had enough. Nothing positive seems to be happening to you. You are stuck. Do not worry. God will make a way for you. If He made a way for the Israelites, then He will make one for you too. If He delivered Daniel out of the den of lions unharmed, He will deliver you out of your situations too. If He fed Elijah when it was too dry in the whole of Israel, He will make a way for you too. Paul and Silas were released from the prison through the mighty hand of God. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were thrown into a fiery furnace. They came out with no single burn because the Lord made a way through the furnace. Our God is a fixer, a problem solver. He has solutions to everything and anything that might happen to us. Don't try to find the answers and solutions on your own. You've already been there. You've done it before. It's a dead end. God tells you, you haven't given me this problem. You haven't let me work on it. The moment you let God take care of the situation, a way appears. A miracle happens. An idea comes into your mind. Do you believe that God can and will make a way for you? I strongly encourage you to. Those who believe in God are never discouraged. One thing that's common in the people for whom God made a way